A short time ago, I spoke with Ryvchin from the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. Alex, good afternoon. This is a second such incident in a matter of weeks. What a traumatic time for your community.
It is. It's a very painful time. The community is feeling devastated, they're feeling anxious, and they're feeling angry. And every time this happens, and it's happening now with increasing frequency, it adds more guards, more fences, more walls to Jewish communal facilities. And we don't want to live that way. We want to be a welcoming, embracing community. We want to be part of the Australian fabric. And we should be able to do that. Every Australian should be free to congregate in their place of worship, to show who they are, to be who they are. And the fact that this is happening is an indictment on our country and on our society.
We see the vandalism. Is there anything else going on day to day we don't see in the media?
I hear from members of the community on a daily basis about the abuse they suffer in the streets, sometimes on public transport, in workplaces, in schools and universities. I'm speaking to members of the Jewish community who are feeling excluded from their workplaces, from certain industries, about shadow bans, about boycotts of Jewish artists and authors and musicians. It's become increasingly difficult to be Jewish and to be Australian. There never used to be a tension between the two. Jews have been in this country since the very first fleet. We have deep roots in this country. We love this country. It's our country as well. But now we're in a position where being Jewish is a liability, and that's something that's wholly un-Australian.
There's been a warning from overseas for Jewish people to reconsider travelling to Australia. Is that a correct message, or is it going too far?
Well, I'm hearing from Jewish community leaders from around the globe, and they're writing to me and saying, what on earth is going on in Australia? There's a perception abroad that Australia is no longer the harmonious, peaceful, free and democratic multicultural society that it has always been. Australia has always enjoyed a brilliant reputation abroad, but that has been severely trashed in the last 14 months when we've had continuous street protests and the veneration of terrorist leaders on our streets and university encampments, and now fires on our streets, in our synagogues. It has certainly damaged the way Australia is perceived overseas, and it's damaged the way that the Jewish community sees itself, both around the world and in Australia, has been able to travel here and participate in the society.
Well, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns promised more resources for police. What needs to be done to end these attacks?
We, of course, need greater resources. There needs to be policing and investigations to bring these people to justice. But we can't always be reacting to these things. It can't be that we have additional security measures after every one of these attacks. People don't want to live that way. It shouldn't be necessary in modern Australia. We want to see long-term change in terms of policing, in terms of law reform, in terms of education. We want to see mandatory anti-Semitism education throughout Australian schools to teach people about the harms of this form of hatred, its roots, its manifestations, what it does to societies. We need to move beyond mere security and reactive measures and actually change the way that Australians view the Jewish community.
Ryvchin, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Anne.